Okay, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to do a head swap. Basically, what you're going to do, I'm just going to jump right into it, right? Basically, I want this avatar's head, right? This is Wolfgang by APYR, on this head of Vishka by the same creator, right? I personally like Wolfgang's better than this one, right? But this is all preference and this is just sake for the tutorial, right? You would grab the FBXs. If you don't know how to do that, you would click on the avatar's name, right? And then go over here into your animator, click on this avatar, this little green guy here, right? And then bam, it pulls you right to your FBX. And then put that wherever you want and find it where you can find input in Blender. Once you do that, right, it's going to look like this. And again, these are how it's laid out, right? I purposely did it this way. Vishka's on the left side, Wolfgang's on the right side, right? So basically, when we go back to Blender, right, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the face mesh on Vishka, because we don't want that head, right? Delete, gone, out of here, right? Once we do that, we come over here to Wolfgang, right? And what you got to do now is we got to separate everything due to the fact that everything is merged onto this avatar, right? So what we got to do is go to edit mode, right? Once we do that, let it load. Sorry, hiccup, right? Just click somewhere random, press P as in pool on your keyboard and go to material. And then it's going to separate everything that is its own separate material, right? Once it does that, it's going to pop out so many different items here. And if, for example, if I do this bottom one, nope, the middle one, there it is, right? Ta-da! So many different things, fun, right? Now we go here, right? Go to object mode, and we just start deleting the stuff that we don't need, right? I'm going to delete the body, so, I don't make this an NSFW tutorial, right? There we go. Just keep going through. I'm going to get rid of the hair, right? Just delete all this fun stuff, right? Delete. Keep the head, because obviously we want the head, right? Delete, delete, and then we can delete that. That's just for Wolfgang's back tattoo. You can delete that. I'm going to delete these, those sandals, and I think that's everything so far, right? But we got to keep the head stuff. We do not want to get rid of the just unnecessary head stuff, right? So there we go. That's the cookie. We don't want the cookie. What is that too? Oh, those are nails. We don't need those. All right. So now what we got to do is we got to merge all this other stuff back onto the head, since we told it hey, I don't want it there, So now we got to just alt or Control J on my keyboard. Sorry, not Alt. Right, to join it, right? And then make sure it corresponds to whatever this head was before you deleted it. I can't remember what it is, but I can check here, and it's just called body, right? So basically name it body here, right? And now what we got to do is you just got to delete the bones. All the bones you need to keep are the head bones, the left eye bones, the right eye bones, and the tongue, since this has, if you plan on using the tongue, that is. And it's all found within this mess here. I will come back when I am done here, just so you know how it looks when it's supposed to be done. But okay, now we're back with just all the bones completely gone from the Wolfgang mesh, right? Like I said, you want to get rid of that one because we don't want that one, right? The head bone, the left eye bone, the right eye bone, eye left, eye right, and then the tongue bones, right? I'm keeping this one just to be safe than sorry, because it says eyebrow. I don't want to mess up anything. I just want to be safe than sorry, right? So we're going to keep that one for now, right? Basically now, if I turn on the mesh, right, if I grab these bones and go back to object mode, right, it's going to come, the origin's down here, which I don't want, so you're going to fix that by going to object, set origin to geometry, right, ta-da! If I grab the bones and now grab this red arrow side to side, now you can see that it moves together, right? Exactly what I want. Now what we got to do is we got to come over here, right? I'm going to turn on the hair, because obviously you're going to be wearing the hair. You just want to see how it looks with the avatar. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit once I grab this armature, and bring it in just a little bit, just so I can, fuck with it. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to get up a little bit so I can actually, not show off the NSFW, right? Now what we're going to do here is we're going to find the armature of the one I was messing with, right? Which is there, as you can see. And you kind of have a guide, because this is where the old tongue was, right? So now what you got to do is just, in reality, just line it up if you want it centered, right? And then configure it how you want, because obviously it's a different head. It's going to be a little bit different from what it was intended for, right? And then, ta-da! And then I'm going to throw it back a little bit just because I want it to, like, merge with the neck, you know? If you wanted to get technical, you can hide the hair, hide the bones, and then, you know, like, sculpt this and make it look a little bit nicer. But that's all on your own free will, right? And once you do that, you're going to open up your cats, right? I prefer cats because it's just, I've never had an issue with it. There's good things or bad things about it from what I've heard. But anyways, my opinion is what I like. You're going to click on these top two, merge all bones, apply a transform under the custom model creation tab, right? Once you have that where you want it, you're going to select your certain armatures, right? This is technically armature 3. I'm going to blur that out just so I don't get hit with anything. Right, and then we just hit merge, and then if I go into pose mode and grab the neck bone, right, ta-da, and you can even do it with the hair on, right, as you can see, it works perfectly fine. And that's how you do that. I mean, you can also take it a little step farther. I'm going to go back to before I merged it, right, and go back, and did I merge it already here? No, this is where it's separated. Yep, there we go. And basically, if I drag just over, right, dragging this over, if I click on it, on the mesh, it's still going to have all these blend shapes, right? I'm not going to do this on video, but basically you'd go through and delete all the ones that are clothing related. And all these other ones you may not understand what they are for or whatever. I understand. It's a complicated process. Blender is a little bit stupid, right? Like this eye one, I'm going to keep, but like all these other ones, I don't want, you know? Like I got to keep that one just to be safe than sorry because it seems to be related to the eye, all that fun stuff. Blink, got to keep, etc. You know, just delete all the blend shapes that aren't related to the head. Once you do that, then merge it and do whatever you want, right? In the case that you don't want the Wolfgang head, right? I'm just going to delete that since we already configured that one, right? I do have my edit as Starlin here, right? So basically what you're going to do, since this is a lot simpler, once you separate all this stuff, right, you're going to just drag it where you want it, right? And then I'm going to get a front view, just drag, place it where you want, right? Scale it how you need, right? And then, oh, come on, I just want to get a neck view. There we go, neck view, right? And as you can see, it's a little bit high, so I'm going to drag it down, you know? And then I think it looks somewhat decent. Again, this is just for tutorial's sake, right? And merge it then again, and then ta-da, all done. But hopefully this has helped you.